Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebookians. Today I want to talk to you about a couple things. I usually do videos on days I go into town or to talk about my adventures if I'm going into one of the towns or fishing or whatever. Today is actually a topic I was pondering last night since I made the last topic. For my subscribers out there, if you don't want to hear about transgender related issues, then please turn off the video now. For the transgender community, I've tried to say this time and time again, so I'm just going to cut to brass tacks, mind you. This video is about transitioning, looks, and being yourself. Now, a lot of people don't think I'm transgendered because there's things that I do that aren't ladylike in their opinion. Now, most transgendered women that I've met are artificial and they're foofy. If they're not foofy, you're not transgendered, is how they put it, because, or transsexual, because they need to have the perfect look to deceive men. Now, for some of you out there that are gay men or not gay men, but understand where the man's coming from, a gay man does not want a transsexual. A bisexual man or woman wouldn't mind one. A lesbian might mind it, but they don't, even though they might not. A woman might not accept you being female and not a genetic female, so the lesbian might not accept you. But when it comes to the men, as I said in my previous video, it could take centuries for the transgendered people to actually be accepted as a genetic male or female, from birth, from what differs on birth, and hence transsexualism. Now, the reason I did this video is everyone that I've talked to that has the facial work done, they go out and they want to find a husband, they want to be taken care of, and they don't give two damns. If their husband finds out, well, oh well, who cares in their opinion? They married, and if they didn't know or assume, then it's the man's fault. Wrong. Most men usually get very angry. Either they have a divorce, or they assault the person and go to jail for hate crime, or they murder the person. Deceit is something that we, the people, do not need to see in this day and age. So, and yes, I'm into Hello Kitty. So, I wore my light Hello Kitty jacket today, but I'll explain a little bit later on the jacket, for example. As you can see in most of my videos, I wear a bracelet. This bracelet means a lot to me because, well, it's my bracelet, and I love bracelets. I can see myself getting into earrings eventually, but I got to get my ears pierced. Right now, my womanly mind is thinking about boots and long skirts, and a nice blouse to go with it. So, and that is because, well, being transgendered, you think more the lines of, being yourself. Now, being yourself and the looks, like I said, the last video, age has no difference when it comes to transitioning. However, Habu thinks it's different. I mean, yes, you can tell a 74-year-old Army veteran had a sex change and fought Medicare and got it changed. Now insurance companies are changing because of Medicare. Or you have the Miss Jenner, basically, who looks like the Crypt Keeper. No offense to the transgender community, and my freedom of speech is allowed because I copyright myself to say what I can say because it isn't slander. It's just, without makeup and being on the front cover of the magazine, you get the Crypt Keeper. I wouldn't even want to see a 66-year-old trans woman who's got money up to wazoo rumor has it they've been trying to get into Playboy. That is a no-no. A guy does not want to wank off to a trans woman, or a pre-operative trans woman, or post-operative for that matter. So you got to be very careful on it. Now, looks, most of the ones that look good, there is some problems. Let me tell you, the younger generation who's taking hormones earlier, decide that after a long while they've been misdiagnosed and they take the big plunge to suicide. Like a lady the other day apparently did it for whatever reason, I think it was. But the reason I know this is the statistics are there because the younger generation are having the surgeries and yet regretting it 20 or 30 years later. Look at, for example, the rumors that I've heard about Trudy Kennedy. She misdiagnosed several people transsexuals. She signed off on the surgeries. They had the surgeries. Well, Trudy Kennedy out of the Monash Gender Clinic in Australia is dead, passed on. But, as you know, misdiagnosis, so technically, the younger generation, they want to go back to being male. They don't want to live as a female. Some of them think living a female is a hard life because you got to get makeup on and all this stuff every day, and they are themselves. However, most of them are stereotypical and think a genetic woman, and they think a genetic woman ain't a trans woman, so technically they're the genetic woman because they know how to please men. Yes, they knew what men want, but that's because they were men themselves and became female, their true gender. But the problem is like I said, if you look at it, looks aren't that important. Age isn't important. As long as you're alive, you can transition and be yourself. Being yourself is the key here. If you're not yourself and you're not transitioning, you're putting up roadblocks and you're blocking yourself. I had a woman who was 36 or 38. I can't remember the wife's birthday. Let's see. 42. I think it was 42. Anyways, at 42 years old, she committed suicide. So, I had to think about it for them. But the bottom line is that my thoughts are, if you're not yourself, then what are you? For example, and excuse me, I'm trying to cough up some phlegm. Problem with smoking cigars and pipes at times. That's my hobby and it's me. Anyways, the bottom line is be yourself. You want to transition, go for it, even if you're 50, 60, 70 years old. Hell. Some of them, the older generation, they want a vagina, a vagioplasty. Some try to focus on both breasts and vaginoplasty. Problem is at that age, you shouldn't be getting your hopes up. Even if you had a lot of plastic surgery, there's only so much plastic surgeon can do, so you got to look at it that way too. And being yourself means being who you are, true to yourself. I got people that ask me all the time, why aren't I male? Because I'm not male, I'm female, and therefore I live in the spectrum to be who I am, and I don't let anyone tell me differently. Habu loves me because, for one, I don't deceive. He basically says, this is who you are. I go down and I see people sitting there giggling at the store. It's like, hee hee. I'm like, what are we laughing at? And they'd be quiet. I know they're laughing at me, but I've decided it'd be a good idea to be quiet or sometimes, just speak your mind, The other thing is when it comes to the, being yourself, you don't need to look hot and gorgeous. And makeup already does that to a point, but the problem with the makeup is this. There's a lot of petroleum-based makeups out there, and I'm not trusting myself to using makeup that could be cancerous for my body. I'm already smoking cigars. I don't want any more cancer. Hell, I bet you, as George Carlin said, there's cancer in the water. The bottom line is if you're going to transition, be yourself, be true to yourself, and don't dwell on looks. If you have the money and you can do it, you can do so much, but the doctor's going to tell you, all right, there's only so much he can do or she can do with you before, even if you semi-pass well and you had all the facial work, it still might not be enough to be, who you are. Just accept the fact that there's things out there. Being yourself means doing what you like and not having other people tell you what you can and can't do. For example, I've been told time and time again, a woman doesn't smoke cigars. I got probably about 1,500 people on Facebook that smoke cigars and pipe tobacco. So if you want to tell me that a woman doesn't do that, then there's a problem with you. So on that aspect. The other thing is, I knew transgender people that had a sex change, went from male to female. Now they can't work on a car because that's a man's job, or mow the lawn's a man's job. Yet they get angry when people say just do it, and they have a big yard, so they run around on a riding lawnmower. Hell, I think my aunt's got a riding lawnmower. You don't see her complaining about, oh, it's my husband's job. No, my uncle's job is to do what he can to help her out, but it's both their jobs to maintain their home. So a woman shouldn't say, well, car work isn't for women, it's for men. Well, I know a lot of genetic women that go under their cars and go and work as professional auto mechanics or lube oil change person and get feel of the car work, you know. So just being yourself is very important. I go out in public, I don't deceive. I am very open-minded, and I do things, you know, after 16 years you've developed a thing about you, an aura about you, that you walk through the store and nothing bothers you. Whereas the new generation, they're sitting there, I can't go out till I have a perfect face and breast implants because I need to go out like this. So they talk to their doctor, and the doctor finally gives in to them because they don't want to go out in public, and they're trying to avoid working as much as possible unless they have to. Today's beverage is coffee, which, as you know, I've given up alcohol. This coffee is the Kimono Dragon Blend. So, and for some of you out there, knowing my mouse is right here, and my keyboard is right here on the bed. And this is a hide-to-bed couch, which I got to reset some of its one of the cushions. But being yourself is just like I said, being yourself. Someone wants to discriminate against you, try to let it go in one ear and out the other, unless it's very, very bad, hateful, or causes you so much problems that you have to take it in the law. You know, the younger generation, as I'm going to say once before, need to be very careful going through with it, because I've read reports where they've had it done and they've regretted doing it because, you know, it's too much work to be a woman. Or, you know, the main question, as Hubu has said a couple times, is how many transgender girls are going to be aging gracefully. They'll want their facelift every 5 or 10 years just to keep them living. One day they'll be looking like Liz Taylor, bless her heart. And I think she just passed on recently, if I'm not mistaken. But she was really good in Cleopatra, so, you know. But yeah, Liz Taylor was a wonderful woman. And Liz Taylor, like I said, was a great woman. And, you know, let's see, Liz Taylor is died at 79, almost 5 years ago. So, as you can see, you know as well as I do that the people there are you know, gotta realize that when it comes down to it, I'm blatant, I'm blunt, and I'm completely open, you know. So you got to look at that. A lot of them could transition, or they're going to be forking out money every 5 or 10 years to get their breast implants revised or facial work done or whatever, you know. And eventually they're going to be to the point of their life where they're just going to say enough's enough, you know, because of whatever reason. I mean, a lot of them do, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them commit suicide thinking, well, I had the surgeries, I regret it. Problem is I don't condone suicide, but I also understand that, you know, some people make mistakes. Look at someone I know. They got misdiagnosed with their disabilities, and they were told they were transgendered, and they weren't, which is Hubu. They were male to female and went back to male. So you can see basically my best friend and family member, you know. So, and then, as you know, somewhere out there, I don't have the links on me, but Apparently, Hubu's got 7 channels, 7 videos about transgenderism, the various types, you know, and etc. So, like some gay men, as I've said before, wanted to be a female so they can have a man, and the fact of the matter is that they can't accept being a man, a gay man, so they become a woman. I've ran into a couple on YouTube that basically blatantly said outright when they were a gay man. I'm sorry, but as a therapist said, you don't give a gay man a sex change. Plain and simple. So, before I keep rambling on and on and on, please, please listen and be yourself. Follow your heart's desires. And that is the main key to being happy. I've lived almost 17 years at surgery. When my surgery comes up, surgery date, it will be 17 years, 1 month, 5 days that I've been transitioning. And then I just got to work on a few other things. You see me semi-worried about my looks when I do videos on YouTube? No, I'm just being myself. So, with that said, everyone, please, please add and subscribe if you like. Please post comments and leave feedback and suggestion. And I will do the best I can to answer questions or concerns or etc. You know. But before I go, I would like to address something real quick. I'll just do it this way, I think. Here we go. So, the friend of mine who was talking about it, basically, I'm going to read her this. And she said, I just watched your video posted on YouTube, and I agree with everything you said. You very to the point, kind of your face, and kind of in your face, which is good. Well, in my face is the attitude I give because, frankly, most transgendered women do not want to listen to me at all. They do not want to listen to me at all, and then when they do, they basically complain, you know, that they're having this or that or the other. I mean, most transgendered people, I turn around and say, what, you want me to give you my surgery date, my surgeries because you can't do it on your own? Hell no. Do your own damn research. Or they beg and beg and beg, but then I tell them what guidance I can give them for surgeons. They turn around and say, I can't do this. You know, you need to try. You know, these people don't want to try. So I am a direct and frank and person that can be blatant, you know. And but how when you're passionate about important subjects, so good for you. Yes, well, my subjects I try to use my videos for daily blogs or what I'm up to from time to time. Hubu and I have our own video channel we do together for cigars, but lately we've been out of the mood of cigars, you know. Plus the fact I didn't take any notes for cigar making, so I have to be honest that it did bother me that it could take centuries for people to accept us, but most likely you're correct about that, which is unfortunate. It shows society in the true light. But that's just the way the people are. Exactly, and that's what I was trying to get at on being yourself, is even if yourself and you get harassed, you're being yourself, you're opening up, even if you're leaving your armor, as they say, in Dragon Age Origins, the PS3, PS4, etc. game, the first Dragon Age game with all the expansions, there's a special thing called critical shot, which if it's right, it chinks in the armor. Well, the thing is you got to be yourself and let your armor have that little chink in it, so if someone wants to attack you, you try to, you know, be yourself and take it really good, you know. So, I mean, then the last comment was, I think you should do it. This video, of course I did. I mean, look at all the things that I did not know about. We need to be looking out for each other. Hearing your struggles and how far you've come is very inspiring. Exactly, and that's why I have my channels out there. I'm not like these prissy, beautiful girls that are post-operative, that are princesses with huge cans going, no offense to the word, I'm a woman myself, but breasts going, oh yeah, look how hot I am, I'm 24, I'm gorgeous. Yes, but as my Filipino missus says, the body ages, and when it does, you only got a good personality. Most transgender people I've met have a personality that it feels like you came from hell. So, you know, no offense. And they basically want to put down every other transgender person. The older generation saying, you shouldn't go through with it because you're old and you're not going to pass. We can pass, so we're going to get what we want. But then they end up basically not getting their man and this and that. And at 70 years old, they're still single. I mean, I talked to a woman who had surgery 35 years ago. She was a dancer, I believe out of Vegas or something. And she said outright that she's aged. And, she hasn't aged well. She's not a smoker or anything, but, the male features are slowly coming up even without all the surgery. So, technically, you got to look at it that way. So, you need to realize that eventually people are going to be getting into the problem of it's a hassle. And the other thing is what if for some reason one day the pharmaceutical companies do not want to cover hormones and Medicare does and this and that and the other, Medicaid, then you're screwed. Then you're going to be masculinizing because there is no hormones to give it. So let me finish this up, wrap it up. So it says, I have a thing on my bedroom wall that says, be your own kind of beautiful. If you're happy with yourself, then in time you'll be surrounded by the right people. The hell with the rest. Exactly, and I saw your picture that you posted on your wall, and I found it to be very nice. So, but yes, anyways, the bottom line to you all out there is be yourself. Do not be discouraged by these women that's post-operative that are 18, 22, 24, 26 that pass better than us. I've been on hormones 17 years almost, so technically look at what it's done for me. I feel I don't pass. But you know what? Even if I don't, I got friends out there that say, hey, girl, way to go. Saw you walking down the street the other day or in the grocery store with an air about you saying, don't mess with me. I'm just minding my own business, And when you get to the point where you do that, you're fine. Hell, let me tell you how you're being yourself. I'm transgender and I get discriminated all the time. Huboo's got a service dog, Moppy. And if you've seen some of our joint videos in the past, Moppy is a little Lhasa Apso Shih Tzu mix that's cute as hell, does his job as a service dog, but we get harassed all the time over, is that a service dog? Is that a service dog? Are you a tranny? Are you a Caitlyn Jenner? So, the bottom line is you need to realize that that everything happens for a reason. So before you turn around and say, oh, this happens or that happens or I can't do this or that, just remember that, in your heart that you are being yourself. Do not change for other people because you're not going to be happy being yourself. So, you're not going to be happy not being yourself is what I mean. Be yourself, be happy, and just remember, looks aren't the most important thing in life. Being yourself is. The body deteriorates, and when it does, all you got is an empty of a husk that when you pass on, that's it. So your body will age, unless you're an infant and, stuff like that. But still, as they say, there is death, and death does come for us all. It's just a matter of when. So, as Annie said, if you marry the right person that has a good personality, you're doing better than marrying a person with a great body, because the body might be hot and gorgeous now. 20 years from now, 30 years from now, it might not be hot and gorgeous, and their personality might stink. So always do something, choose one person that has a good personality. About the thing, as I said, most transgendered women that go through with it, even if they deceive, they usually end up with no one. So technically just remember that, and in some ways being transgendered, in my opinion, and it's just me, is a curse. But you know what? I've lived this for so long, I don't really care. It just goes in one ear and out the other. So, yes, if you really wanted to know, that is what I wanted to share with you. Be yourself. Looks aren't everything. Personality is, and even if you have surgery and you get breast augmentation or gender reassignment surgery and you can't get FFS, so you've had 2 out of the 3 surgeries. And consider hormones being a surgery too in ways. You're making your hormones better as a woman, as yourself, than as a male. Just living, a life of a lie. You're not a man. If you're a man and you don't feel this is the right path, then, seek out help. But in my opinion, I've got my letters, I got my surgery date, I know this is me because I've done it for 16 years. As Aaron said, sometimes my mind is more feminine than most because But they say most men think of sex every 6 seconds, and most women think about it every 10 seconds. Maybe in the back of the recess of the mind, but me, no. So, with that said, everyone, just remember being yourself is the key. Your body will age. And if you want to dwell on looks, then maybe, just maybe, you should just live as a male because, you're not willing to go out in public and try to be yourself, even if you're an older generation. Look at the older generation on these TV shows and talk shows. You got the women that try to act hot and sexy. Then you got the conservative older women who basically have been around the horn, basically, as I call it, around the Cape. And you can realize around the ocean, around the world, and they know what you got to go through, and they support going through it. And hell, there's some women that haven't had FFS that looks pretty damn passable at like almost 70. So, there you have it. So I thought I'd share that with you all. So just don't focus on looks. Focus on being yourself. I'm myself. I go out in public every day as myself. I dress up every day as myself. I go out in public as myself. I walk my dog every day with Aaron, Habu. We go to the post office 6 days a week. We go shopping together. I got people that I consider kind of friendly, but not friends because they've never been to my home, that actually say, "Oh, hey, girl, you're over here today." Like Walmart, the clothing. Yeah, I need to look for a long shirt. "Oh, it's not the season, girl. Come back in spring." But do you have any dresses? Not many, So I'd go and look for girl pants or, other things. Hell, I go in there periodically and I'm like, "Yes, I need a new bra or two." I tell her what size I need, and she chooses the one that's the best for my price range. Usually, she knows the affordable ones for $3.98 are good, and I like that. Hell, I told her I'd pay $20 for an orange bra just because I've seen a girl I know wear an orange bra. So to me, it's really cool, that. And don't ask why I've seen it because, well, frankly, we women don't need to indulge in that information. So. Also, if you're really worried also about being yourself and using the bathrooms, just remember if you're transitioning, there's ways to protect yourself. Also, there is also this to tell you, the older generation, even if they walk into the bathroom, even on hormones, and they try to pass as an older woman, even if they don't pass, and they're trying to pass, give them the credit. Maybe they've had bottom surgery down below, and if they do, you shouldn't be discriminating against them in a female bathroom because they're just trying to relieve themselves like everyone else. So, again, you need to if you're male to female, you need to let your woman out and be themselves. If you're female to male, you need to let your male out to be yourselves. So, anyways, I've rambled on long enough. I got to get the dusting done before I get into laundry and then my Bible time. So, with that said, everyone, please add and subscribe if you like. Please post comments, leave feedback, suggestions for new videos. Thank you, and may God bless the world.